Okay, let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to yet another Bird Brothers podcast. I am your host, Falcon, as always, with my good friend and co-host, Condor. How are you today, Condor?
I am feeling a little red, as you can tell by my outfit.
Whoa!
Yeah, whoa!
You're red. I'm orange. Like, what's going on with the world?
Whoa! I feel like an elite today. You know what I'm
Warm
saying?
colors only. Oh, I know what you're saying.
I know. I feel like I'm in a classroom.
What we were watching today?
We watched One Piece.
Oh yeah, always One Piece. Oda-san, genius, mastermind,
Yeah, we watched
best ever.
We watched the Dressrosa arc this time for the anime podcast.
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, Dressrosa.
Wait. Did you not watch it?
I'm like in the middle of Dressrosa.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
We're supposed to watch it for the podcast, dude.
Well, it's very long and it was very boring, so I ended up just watching Classroom of the Elite instead.
What?
What?
No, that works out.
Have you seen it?
I happen to watch that too.
What? Crazy.
Whoa.
Who would have thunk it?
But yes, I definitely couldn't.
You could. Well, it's not like we announced it at the end of last week or anything.
Yeah, but people don't watch our podcast, so it's fine.
We're doing all right. We're 10 away from 100 or 500 downloads.
Just because someone downloads it doesn't mean they listen to it.
Hey man, goose. It depends. You don't usually download it immediately. You usually have to click play before it counts at So,
well, they could just play it and then not play it. But let's not talk about that. Let's just share the love, everybody. Let's share the love.
You're the one who's trying to not bring the love. But yes, Classroom of the Elite. So Classroom of the Elite is a show where some students get enrolled to this special high school in Japan that has a 100% employment rate and a 100% college rate. And by that meaning they get the job they want or they get into the college they really want to go to. So they have, I guess, they didn't really say how they pick people for it. I guess you apply and you have to be selected. It's very elusive. But we're following the kids at this school. Each grade has 4 classes, A through D. We are following the freshmen of class 1D. As they quickly find out, they might not be having the best time at this school. Do you agree, Condor? Do you think that they're not going to be having the best of times?
Everything seems nice at first. Basically, the teacher's saying, hey, you have these set of points and you can use these points to basically buy anything you want around
literally anything you want.
Clothing,
points can be bought.
Food, video games, literally anything. And the teacher says you'll get points every month. You'll get more and more. And they start with 100,000 points. And everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy. We're going to get 100,000 points every month. We're living the life. So a lot of the students not really caring about school and not caring about life. Bless you.
Thank you.
Basically, they go and spend out all their points, and they just don't. Some of them skip class. Some of them just are lazy.
The school is very laid back. Like they don't really take attendance or anything like that. They even you see like they're in class, they're all texting. Teacher does nothing about it. But they quickly find out those are infractions, and infractions deduct from the amount of monthly points you get. So at the end of the month, Class D ain't looking too hot because they have 0 points that they're getting that week.
That month, my friend.
Yeah,
not that
month.
Week,
yeah, when I say
month.
week,
they go a whole month without getting any points, leaving some of them completely broke. To be completely honest,
a lot of them were like, "I already spent all my money," and it's like, "Oh well."
Which you kind of get hints to that because you see, like, especially in the cafeteria, there's like free food, and people, some of the characters like, why is there free food if we get points every month? That doesn't make sense.
Well, even when they're at the like convenience store, our main character sees kind of the secondary main character getting like free items. He's like, "Why are you getting the free items? You can afford to buy the more expensive stuff, you know?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to worry about that. Like, this is fine. Whatever. Leave me alone." And then, like, you see, too, all the other students, like, oh, you all are in Class D. You're going to realize you're not so great so soon or something like that. Like, for all the upperclassmen who know how it goes, that they haven't figured out yet. But essentially, Class D is viewed as, like, the defective class. It's the kids who they got in, but who they don't really think are going to do great or have, like, issues.
Defective.
Yeah. So Class D is looked down upon. But they quickly find out you can actually become the other classes if you can get your point totals up and above theirs. So the class, the first years that has the highest points will be Class A, second highest B, third C, last D. So then it kind of becomes this race for them to overtake Class A.
That is not. I wouldn't say that's the goal of the main character. That's the goal of the.
Well, that's the goal of
secondary
Horikita. Yeah, that's true.
Yes. Well, the main character basically just wants to live his life peacefully, not really care, but he still ends up helping out people.
Yeah, Horikita wants to overtake Class A, and a lot of the other classes
prove herself
want to get
her
their points
brother.
up. Yeah, her brother's the student council president, and he doesn't even think she should be allowed at the school. He doesn't think she's worth anything. So she's kind of trying to prove him wrong by getting her class into class to become Class A.
That's
but it's going to be an uphill battle to do it.
It'll be a big old battle. I wonder if they'll do it. Unfortunately, this anime was only 12 episodes, so we didn't really. Obviously, the conclusion wasn't good because this is a light novel series, and this anime only covers the first 3 volumes of the light novel. I read up about. Okay. So I think there's like 20 light novels for this.
I mean, it was a long-running series, fairly popular one. Yeah, I wonder if it's actually still going.
It is still going. Okay. So apparently they're in their second year now. It's a second year. I think there's like
I see. I'm on the wiki. It's like light novel second year volume 4 has been released in February. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the series originally came out in 2015. And then it came out in English in 2019 actually, so 4 years later. I wonder if the anime actually helped that, because I think the anime came out 2017.
I think that's what Crunchyroll said it came out as.
Yeah, so but basically this series has been going on for quite a while. I will say quite a while. So are you copying me? That's not funny.
I just want to do a weird voice.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, the series is very unique, as in you probably won't guess some of the characters. Some characters will appear one way but then act another. So you'll never really know who is who until you see their true colors. That goes for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying, Falcon?
Yeah.
Did you get surprised about all the twists in this anime?
Yes, no. There were some twists that surprised me, but a lot of the bigger ones, especially at the start, I kind of saw coming.
Like the point thing, obviously.
Yeah, the point thing. I mean, I've said to you before when we just started watching it that I felt this was just like Bucket to Test, but as like a drama as opposed to a comedy, because it's very similar. Except Bucket and Test is more like, we need to get this cute girl into Class A because the only reason she's in our class is because she got sick and had to leave the exam. And so, yeah, let's do it. Then it's more comedy about them trying to do it, to where here is more, it's way more serious.
I've never watched Baka and Test. I know what we're watching next week then.
Maybe. Baka Test is actually really, really good. I really like it. But anyway, that's besides the point. Just something that if you've seen Baka to Test, very similar premises. Anything else you want to say overall?
Basically overall, this anime, I would consider it it's definitely a slice of life, but it's also like a mystery. There's a lot of like mysteries that happen in the show that make you like think like what could be the answer or something like that, you know? What's happening? What's going on? It has like good mystery feeling. Wouldn't you agree there, Falcon?
Yeah, there's definitely some mystery to it. I think both kind of little story arcs we got here have some sort of mystery involved in them in some way. The first one I would say is just straight up a mystery. The second one, I wouldn't say it's straight up a mystery, but it has a lot of mystery elements to it.
Definitely. I mean, there's no like mystery. I mean, there's like a mystery towards the end of the second one.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we all called, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. It was not hard to call. But yeah, that's it for the overall like basic overview. So I guess we will move on to our characters now, starting off with our main character, Kiyotaka Ayanokoji.
Ayanokoji.
I really like that name. I think it's just fun to say. Ayanokoji. All right. But he is the main protagonist. He is in Class D, and he doesn't really care. He just wants to live his life, do his thing, and that's what he's going to do. He doesn't really... He's very kind of like awkward. Like, even in the first episode, he was like, oh, I hope I don't screw this up. Hopefully I'll be able to make friends fairly easily or quickly. And then he's just like, hi, I'm Ayanokoji. I don't really have any clubs or skills. Later, and like sits down, and he's like, oh man, I goofed up, but he's not he doesn't make friends very easily. But yet people seem drawn to him mysteriously. Like, what is crazy? What else do you want to say about Ayanokoji before we get too deep into it?
Actually, the Wikipedia page gave a good take on him, which is rare for a main character. Hold on, let me pull it up quickly. Fill the silence with some talk.
Oh, well, you said that right as I was taking a sip of coffee. But yeah, so Ayanokoji, he wears a red uniform that they all wear because, it's a school uniform on the island school that they're at. It's pretty crazy. He also is kind of inconspicuous and unobtrusive is what the wiki is using for him.
Yeah, so
Is a very
basically,
good way to phrase that.
So this isn't like the Classroom of the Elite wiki. This is the actual Wikipedia page of Classroom of the Elite, and it says he is considered an unreliable narrator due to his mysterious background because you don't really find out much about him. You get bits and pieces near the end, but that's about it. So he's technically an unreliable narrator.
He totally is. I mean, even at the end of the first season, we don't really know anything about him except that he's not really who he presents himself to be. And like their teacher is like, I know everything about you, and he's like, oh really? Like I really liked his dynamic with the teacher. I thought that was a really interesting dynamic to spread. Yeah, he gives off this aura of like not really caring about anything, yet everything he does kind of contradicts that, but not necessarily. Like he's interested, but not necessarily interested in the way everybody else is interested in it. He kind of has like his own agenda, it seems. We don't really know what that agenda is.
Now, I know you said you don't really like main characters, but did you like Ayanokoji as a main character?
I liked Ayanokoji, but it's more, I think, the mystery of what he's actually going to end up being or what he's actually doing. Otherwise, he's kind of just this socially awkward character who has his own agenda, and a couple people are kind of picking up that he has his own agenda, but they don't really know how to do anything about it or what it is, so they're just kind of like stuck, kind of forcing to trust him.
Our main character isn't what he lets on to be. As you watch the anime, you find that out bits and pieces, especially at especially at the end in the very last line of dialogue he says to close out the show. But I liked him for what he was worth. He was cool and mysterious. He definitely kept that. It definitely was like, oh, what's this main character about? Usually, a show makes you learn everything about a main character so you can like understand and vibe with them. But in this case, that's not the case. You learn about like all the other characters so you can vibe with them through his perspective. But he doesn't really think much because he shows an aura of not caring. When in fact he just really doesn't care. He never cared to begin with.
Yeah. He's very interesting. It definitely makes me like, this only has one season of the show, never got any others, so it definitely makes me want to read the book because I'm very curious to what his actual deal is.
Well, Falcon, it's so glad you said that because apparently the anime version wasn't as good as the light novels.
Yeah, so I saw in the comments for a lot of these episodes when I was watching it that readers of the books were not happy with the show. And I didn't look too deep into like why. But I did see here on the wiki already, there's a section they had that was differences between the anime and the light novel. So apparently in the light novel, Kiyotaka, Ayanokoji, doesn't act all like aloof and kind of like awkward at the start. He acts just like a normal high school boy would. And then he slowly starts revealing his like don't give a crap persona throughout the way.
Really?
Yeah. It says his personality is like a regular high school student who is aware of his surroundings and wants to get along with classmates, who gradually reveals his dark side by the end of volume 3, where the anime is. So essentially the whole anime, he's just a normal high school boy until close to the end of the little island exam. So basically, and that's when they start to see what's happening.
So basically, in a sense, they changed the main character in a bit.
They didn't really change him. They just, instead of like having all of a sudden be like, wait, is he doing something weird? And then find out he has this like dark side to him. We've just kind of seen that dark side all along. And apparently in the light novels, they never actually declared how many number of points they were given. They were just given precise numbers at the end, or you'll see. The light novels, the exact number of points owned by characters weren't defined, but in the anime, they were given precise numbers at the end of each episode.
Oh yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I actually really liked during the ending song how they showed like certain characters had like what points they had. That was really fun to look at. It was very interesting.
Okay. Oh, apparently too, the teacher. Now I really want to read the light novels. Apparently the anime, like the teacher here, like she doesn't like voluntarily tell the students stuff, but if they ask her questions, she tells them. It's kind of one of those like I'm not going to tell you anything unless you ask about it. Apparently in the light visual novels, they'll ask her questions, and she just literally in a visual novel, the light novels. Apparently in the light novel, she just won't tell them crap. Like they'll ask questions, she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to tell you that," and like she'll just ignore it.
What?
Like, she just pulls information from them, which now I really want to see because I genuinely really like the teacher. And those
now
like
I can see why this anime,
like overall, it seems like there are other differences like per episode, but we're not going to get into that because we would be here all day, and neither one of us have time for that.
Unfortunately, it's not. I will say that I mean the anime wasn't bad per se. It's just that it sounds like the light novels were better.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Like I remember one of the comments, someone was like, "Whoa, Ayanokoji ending up like that's kind of crazy," and someone's like, "Yeah, it's even better than the light novel. They kind of botched it here." So like, it seems like that may be why we only had one season. If the hardcore fans were like, "No, this wasn't good," but the people who hadn't read it seemed to really enjoy what they were watching.
I mean, I hadn't read it, and I enjoyed what I watched.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, but I definitely feel like this is what I want to read the books for because I feel like the books could be better.
Then what are you waiting for? Order on Amazon right now. Right now.
I got paid the other day.
Darn, I'm just making convincing Falcon to make bad purchases.
Yeah, you're just convincing me to make bad purchases. I'm
going
on vacation soon. I need to save my money. Anyway.
No, you're gonna go on a boat.
I am gonna go on a boat. It's gonna be exciting. But anyway, moving on from Ayanokoji, so we've pretty much covered him for the most part, I feel. We can talk about Suzune Horikita, kind of the second main protagonist of the show. We've already said her older brother is the senior class president, and he thinks the sister is pretty crap and doesn't think she needs to be at the school. She's here to prove him wrong and to make Class D overtake Class A. Condor, what did you think about Horikita here?
She seemed like a pretty bland character.
Other than like by the book tsundere, I feel like.
Definitely by the book tsundere. Other than when so basically she's the type of character where sorry, I'm trying to pull up her information just as a fresh reminder. But basically she doesn't really like talking with people. She likes to be alone. She prefers to be alone. Though I will say when her brother said that line, you're confusing isolation with independence. That really like speaks out. I think I
really liked that line he gave her. Like so her whole thing is like Ayanokoji keeps running into her before they're actually in each other's class. And like he kind of looks at her when they're on the bus to the school together and they run into each other kind of shortly after they get off the bus walking around campus, and she flat out tells him, like, I don't look for friends, don't even try to befriend me. He's like, well, that's not what this was, but cool, whatever. Which now makes me wonder if it really was, because he says it was just a coincidence, but now that we know he has, like, his other motives, maybe it wasn't really a coincidence. Now I really want to know, and I'm really curious. But anyway, she thinks she can do everything by herself. She doesn't want to befriend people. She just wants to do her thing and be done. So that's kind of one of her things. Even her brother is flat out telling her, like, you can't do this alone. If you're going to overtake Class A, you have to have everyone in your class help you out. And by being, an ice queen who ignores everybody, not going to get that to happen. So it seems like most of her issues in life resolve from her not being willing to open up and be around other people.
But as the show goes on, you realize that she might be opening up to her peers.
Especially to Ayanokoji, of all people. He's the one person that like she doesn't mind talking to, and I don't know if it's because he has that like attitude of like I don't give a crap or what, but they kind of sit beside each other, and the class thinks that they're like really good friends because he's the only person she talks to. So there's plenty of times like, oh, we need you to talk to Horikita about this. And, oh, well, why me? Oh, because you're the only person she talks to. Like we thought you all were friends. Well, we're not really friends, but I can talk to her, I guess. But otherwise, yeah, she seems fairly smart, so I don't really know why she got put into Class D unless it was just the brother being like she doesn't deserve to be here, put her in Class D, and maybe she'll just leave. Maybe that was the reasoning, but she's actually fairly intelligent.
I think the problem stems from the fact that she doesn't know how to work with other people, so that's probably why. Remember, Class D is a room filled with defects, and we all know they're all defective in one way.
Yeah. So Yeah, she's in class D. That's probably the entire reason
She doesn't really show much emotion unless her brother is involved, to be perfectly honest. Because coming from the stimulating from the fact that she wants to prove her brother how capable she is. Even though her brother's literally telling her out, yo, you need to go make some friends. She's like it's like that meme where it's like all the numbers above the person trying to compute it.
Yeah. They're like, make friends. No, I will do this. Goodbye. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you drink your coffee, you addicted man.
My coffee. I'm not addicted to coffee. You just don't get it. Anyway. Is it
one of your emotes with you a coffee mug?
Yeah, because I drink coffee a lot on streams, but I don't like always drink coffee on streams.
Addiction.
Whatever. A lot of people have coffee emotes. Leave it alone, mister. I only drink water. I don't care. Okay. So
I drink soda and Gatorade. Screw you.
Oh, you're drinking soda again?
I haven't drinking a soda in like a week.
Yeah. See,
because my roommate took the last one and won't let me drink it.
Sad day.
Because I drank the other 11 in the 12 pack.
All right. So anyway, anything else we want to add about Horikita, or should we move on to?
She is not the best girl.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to decide in my head who you think the best girl is, but we'll move on to one of the potential candidates, and that is Kikio Kushida.
Kikio Kushida.
Kikio Kushida. She's a girl whose goal at the school is to befriend everybody. She wants to be everybody's friend, and that's kind of her main goal. Horikita does not want to be friends with her. Horikita does not seem to like her. So Kushida kind of butters up Ayanokoji and hopes to be able to win over Horikita through him. Yeah, a lot of the boys think she is very attractive. Other than that, she has some little secrets about her as well. We find out a little bit. She may not be as sweet and charming as she says she is. Like most characters in the show, actually. But anyway, Condor, what do you have to say about Kushida?
She's defective goods.
She's defective. Oh,
they're all defective.
Yeah, I was like, they're all defective.
That was a little mean. I'm sorry. I was a little mean. I apologize.
It's fine. We forgive you.
So basically, her gimmick is she's a girl and everyone loves her. She wants to be the most popular girl, but unfortunately, if she sees someone else, like another girl, getting attention, she gets super upset and angry.
Yeah.
Because she, like when I don't get my chicken tendies, you know what I'm saying? It's like grrr. So basically, she has like a hidden side where, basically I'm sure you didn't call this one, did you? Huh? The plot twist with her.
No, I didn't call this one, but I also kind of wasn't surprised. But it was one of the ones I was like, oh, didn't see that coming. Not at all. Which
is really cool because Horikita probably saw this coming from a MIY. She could probably read her. But basically, this isn't really a spoiler because it happens at the end of episode 3, and there's not much to talk about with this anime. But basically, one time it's the main character Horikita, her, and 3 other people we might talk about one of them later. And basically, they're all hanging out, and Horikita's like, wow. Everyone's like, oh wow, Horikita, you're so smart and amazing, and she's like, yeah, whatever. And then Kikyo was like you could see her like frowning, right? And then she went to go leave, but she forgot her cell phone in the main character's room. So he followed her, but he's like, wait a second, this isn't the way back to the dorms. And they went to like this like beach like little area. I wouldn't say like a beach, but it was like a water looking area.
It was like they had like a sidewalk, but it was just like the ocean on the other side.
Yeah, it was like
they're kind of on this like floating like man-made island thing.
I'd say it's
kind of went there.
I'd say it's a beach or whatever. And basically, she's like yelling, and it's like, oh, I hate it, grr. And then obviously her phone makes a noise in Kiyotaka's hands, and she's like, who's there? He comes out, basically saying, oh, it's me. He's like, did you see that? And she's like, yeah, I did. And then she's like, you better not tell anybody, or what? Or I'll say to everyone that you assaulted me. And she proceeds to put his hand on her breast, saying, here's the evidence right here.
Yeah.
Which was completely like, that's actually, when I first watched this show, that's actually the episode I ended it off on.
Mm-hmm.
Not because it wasn't interesting. It actually got really interesting there. It's hard for me to watch episodes weekly because I was watching this when it came out.
Yeah.
So I did not see that happening or coming.
So that was the surprising part. I kind of saw that she might not be like Little Miss, sweet charming girl she was saying to be, but she kind of did some stuff there that I didn't expect to, like essentially blackmailing him. She was like, "Oh yeah, now there's proof. So if you tell anyone anything about this, you're done." But
which she doesn't. So it begs to ask which is the real side of her anyway.
Yeah, and that's what even Ayanokoji says. It's like, which side of her is actually her true side? Is she the little, angry, jealous girl, or is that just like something she puts on to put on, and she's actually the really sweet, nice, caring person? We don't really know the answer to that.
Nope, because the anime doesn't answer that.
Nope. That's one thing I wonder if it ever will get answered, because I can see that being something they just like leave in the air.
I'm sure it will. On the wiki, it actually says for Kikio that let's say the SD class is for those with defective traits. Kikyo's defect is a certain incident of her past.
Okay.
So I'm assuming this past thing has to do with something.
Probably.
Yeah, maybe it hasn't been mentioned yet. They're only in their second year. What is it? The high school's 3 years or something?
Yeah, all high schools in Japan, I believe, are 3 years.
Oh, well, maybe this was a special school, Falcon, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
huh?
I mean, it is a government funded school with like crazy good ratings. So that is really all for Kushida.
Oh wow, this is a spoiler.
Oh,
don't read it. Oh, you sure? It's actually really interesting.
Well, yeah, but we try to keep a lot of the spoilery stuff. So if you want to put a note on it, we can talk about it at the end. I'm gonna say
it. This is a spoiler. If you do not want to hear this, then please skip 3 minutes ahead of the podcast. So basically, this is actually interesting. So in the light novel, more of Kikyo's violent side is shown as she's revealed that she hated Kiyotaka from the moment she met him for reasons yet to be revealed. That is very interesting. That is definitely not shown in the anime at all.
No.
Jesus. All right, this is the end of spoilers. You may continue listening to your daily podcast like normal.
We're not a daily podcast. We're a weekly podcast.
Be quiet. Anything else you want to add about Kikyo? Or
not really.
She is also not best girl.
No, I was right on who you thought was best girl. All right, cool. That means we are moving on to Iri Sakura.
She is also not best girl. I'm kidding. She's best girl.
Okay, so I was like, there's only one other person who might be best girl.
No, it wasn't. It's not the girl from Class B. No, it's not her.
But yeah, Sakura is a student in Class 1D. She's very quiet, doesn't really say much, but you find out she is kind of like a cam girl, kind of. She's a Twitch thought. Yeah. No, she doesn't really do like live streams or anything, but she takes a lot of photos of her for social media, and she doesn't want to be recognized, so she wears like fake glasses and puts her hair up in like ponytails and stuff during school, hoping nobody will figure it out.
She doesn't really get that much spotlight until like episode 6.
Yeah, she doesn't come into like a little ways into like the first main arc.
Episode 6.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is that I'm clicking through like the characters to get like a good thing about them. It's actually really interesting. I actually like the light novel looks a lot better than the anime looks, to be honest. Like if you look at that light novel, like how the artists they're drawn it, it's actually really, really good.
It has a lot more like lighting and shading and stuff on it than the anime one does.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, she kind of gets drawn in. There's a whole thing where some students in Class 1C are trying to get a character we'll talk about in a second expelled from the school for stuff he didn't really do. Well, I guess he kind of did it, but he didn't initiate anything. He was doing it like this fight for self-defense. And Sakura gets important because she was the only witness there that day.
But she didn't come forward to it.
She didn't come forward, yeah, but they figure out she was there. So they're trying to get her to come forward about it. You find that she's very shy and meek normally, but she doesn't want to get involved because of that. But also because that reveals she does all these like kind of like softcore porn photos she puts online.
Yeah, they're pretty softcore. It even leads to a point where she almost gets literally molested in an alleyway.
Yeah, she
really bad.
By the weird that dude, as soon as we saw him, I knew he was creepy. I was like, this dude is not a good dude.
So I don't know why. This is my imagination. And when I first saw it, I thought like, remember when they were she went to go repair her phone and the guy was being like a little creepy.
Yeah.
I literally thought that was just like her imagination of what he was doing, but I thought he was just being a normal guy. And she's just like imagining that he's all creepy and that maybe it was like a problem with her. And maybe that was her defect, but no, he was just an actual creepy guy.
Yeah, he was just an actual creepy guy who was like a fan of hers. So like repairing the camera and seeing the photos of her on there, it's like, oh, this is her. Like I thought, cool, great, yeah. Yeah, that was something I was kind of like, did we really need this in here? But okay. Yes. Yeah, you say yes, I'm like, I don't care.
Best girl.
We could have done without it, and I would have been fine.
Maybe him not being creepy at the phone stop, and maybe him realizing who it is, and then later being creepy. That would have been cool. Just probably. That,
or even if we would have found out, like, gotten confirmation that he was the one that was constantly like sending her the messages that were like freaking her out. But I was like, do we really need to see him like actually like try to like molest her on the sidewalk, like in the alley? Like, I don't know. But I feel like that was probably a point of
this just shows this anime doesn't fuck around, dude.
It doesn't. It's very serious. But yeah, of course that doesn't happen. People come in and save the day.
Of course, because we wouldn't be watching it if it was an actual hentai.
Yeah, no, we try to stay away from those.
Speaking of which, next week we're watching hentai.
We're watching hentai next week.
Dang it.
But otherwise, she ends up crushing on Ayanokoji.
That is
pretty
true.
Hardcore.
Pretty hardcore crush.
But otherwise, her personality is just kind of, she's that shy, meek little girl who doesn't say much in the class.
And basically, she's just trying to like overcome that a little bit day by day with the help of everybody, as you can see during like the island arc.
Yeah. Yep. That's really it we can say for Sakura. Do you have anything else you want to add before we move on to the next person?
She's best girl. Best girl confirmed. I get a body pillow of her right now.
Oh, do you?
I'm going to right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're that level of degenerate now, getting body pillows?
I have 2 already.
Oh, let me guess. Rem?
No. There's actually just random series. One's from Vampire Night. The other's from Azumanga Daioh.
You have an Azumanga Daioh one, really?
Do you want to see it?
Not really, but
right now. It's literally just like 2 of the girls. They're like in their school uniform. It's literally just like a normal like picture of them on a body pillow.
That kind of saddens me because I've watched Azumanga Daioh more times than I can count.
I've never watched Azumanga Daioh.
All right. Anyway, we're moving on to Sudo. Who is the next person? Sudo is the one that was trying to get, or was about to get expelled. He is kind of like your typical thuggy kind of persona student. Very hot-headed.
First of all, he almost got expelled twice, actually.
Yeah, true. That is very true. He very hot-headed, very buff. He cares about being a basketball player. He's on the basketball team. Yada yada yada. You can kind of picture what he would probably look like and how he would act. But yeah. He almost gets expelled at one time because he fails the first test. And then their teacher politely tells them that if they fail the second test, they get expelled from the school. And that's kind of how everybody who graduates from there has a 100% job and college raise, because if you're not doing well, they just expel you. So that way, whoever is left at the end is really, really great and can get whatever they want. So they have to get him studying up so that way he can not be expelled, because they think that having someone expelled might count down on points, because they don't really tell you what all affects your class's points. So they feel like if he gets expelled, there might be permanent like negative points that they're given each week, and they won't be able to overtake Class A. And then he ends up being able to be so good at basketball, he gets to start as a first year, which makes the basketball players from Class C jealous, and they provoke him into a fight. And then report the fight that he just was aggressive for no reason and beat them up. And they have to try to find proof that that was not the case to keep him at the school.
That is right. Which, well, most technically, you could say half of the anime was basically focused on him.
Yeah, it was focused on him not getting kicked out. Yeah,
that's right. It's so crazy trying to keep a random guy to be not expelled. Isn't that right, Falcon? Would you want to be expelled from school, my friend?
No, not really. I never wanted to. But yeah, otherwise he's There's not really a ton to say about him besides he's kind of your typical hot-headed jock guy, and that's that. I feel like he might develop more later on.
I mean, I feel like this
yeah.
is gonna be one of those animes where all the characters, at least the ones that get spotlighted, will probably develop later on.
Probably.
Like, I guess that's good enough for the characters at this point. So there's other characters that don't really get like much spotlight, but they got like potential. Like, let me pull up the characters. We got Roku Suke Koenji, the guy who was swinging on the vines.
Oh,
we got Hirata, who you mentioned earlier. We got maybe Kei Karuzawa.
Yeah, we've got Ike, who's the like really pervy one that's always hanging out with them. Him and is it Yamauchi, I think.
Oh god, that whole panty episode was so bad.
that was probably my least favorite episode.
That was probably my least favorite episode too. Good on Kiyotaka.
That one or the one where they sneak into the girls' changing room trying to like take pictures. Like setting up the cameras to take pictures of all the girls changing or whatever.
That's the same episode.
Oh, I thought you were talking about at the camp with the.
Oh no, that was completely fine because I mean it was cringe, but it was completely fine considering I had to like
the pool
end,
one. I would agree.
The pool one is probably the worst one because good on to Kiyotaka for being like not letting them do it because Jesus.
Yeah. That whole thing, I was like, this is really weird, but then you find out he knew about it and got it. It was a filler episode that didn't even really need to be there. It was just kind of there. Like we could have done without that episode and literally nothing would have changed at all. But yeah. Otherwise, I mean, there's some that I feel like will get more focus. I feel like they might. Yukimura maybe or no. Yukimura. I don't know. We know of him, but we don't know much about him so far. But the girl from 1B, I feel like would get a lot more influence. Karuizawa and Hirata probably will because of the two that are dating. Ichinose is the 1B girl.
Yes, Ichinose is the 1B girl.
Ryuan and Saki Yanagi probably would. They're characters from other classes.
And then there's the president, which is Horikita's brother, who's an interesting character as well. Basically, the show has a lot of interesting characters, you know? Mm-hmm. Honestly, the characters make up the show for me personally. I feel like they're all really interesting. It's all interesting to see them clash with each other, even if it's quite short-lived for like only 12 episodes.
For sure. But yeah, so that is really all we have for the characters on this one. Do you have any fun facts this week, Condor, or are we?
Oh, I never even looked up a fun fact. Oof. I mean, I could tell you right now, I'm literally looking at the trivia for Ichinose, and she has like a crap ton of trivia. Like, why does she have so much? Why?
I mean, who knows?
I mean, Ichinose ranks number 7 in female character category in the 2020 edition of Takara Jimasha's Kono Light Novel ga Sugoi Guidebook.
Okay.
Which is an annual light novel guidebook published by Takara Jimasha. So apparently this girl featured in it.
Gotcha.
Oh, what do you know? It has a Hall of Fame in it as well. And in the Hall of Fame for 2016, it looks like My Youth Romantic Comedy is Wrong as I Expected. That's a good anime. Yeah. Also Sword Art Online, Sword Art Magical Index, and the real work is never done. And then there's rankings. They have rankings here. Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know this thing existed. Wow. I wonder if ReZero's on here.
I guess one thing we could say is that we forgot to mention it, but Ayana Koji was said by the teacher to be the most effective student in all of D class.
The most effective student, which probably has to do with his past.
Yeah.
Looks like Classroom of the Elite in 2019 got 6th place in Bunkoban.
Ooh, that's not bad.
That means. I don't know what that means, but okay. Whatever the review's work is never done. Wait, is this? No, it's not. Okay, I thought it was My Devil's a Part-Timer. Well, it looks like ReZero got 2nd place in 2017 to 2019 in Bunkoban.
Ooh, not bad.
This Ryu's work is like always the top ranking in a lot of these. Jeez, this must be a good series. I didn't know this thing existed. I'm gonna favorite this page. Look at us. We're all learning something together, everybody. Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. Anyway, I guess we can move on to the opening and ending for the show. So the opening theme is Cast Room by Zach. Or Z-A-Q. I'm not sure which way that's supposed to be pronounced. And the ending theme is Beautiful Soldier by Minami. What did you think of the opening and ending for the show?
Kiyotaka got first place in the 2021 character poll.
Cool.
Sorry, I'm like, this is like really interesting. I actually thought both the opening and the ending were kind of bland, to be perfectly honest with you.
I wasn't a fan.
Even the visuals for the opening, I usually don't hate an opening. I think usually the openings are really good. I think the only other opening I didn't like that we've reviewed is probably Spice and Wolf. Yeah. But this one, it's okay. I probably wouldn't listen to it on my free time. It's very forgettable. The visuals aren't really that good for it either, and I'm usually a big guy in the visuals. The only thing I'll say is I'll give that and say the ending is better just for the credit of it showing the scores and showing like a different character at the end of each like thing. That was very interesting, and it also showed like the points as well on like a little phone, or like it would show the points or how many points they had left on the watch when they're in the island. So I'm gonna say the ending is better just for that thing. But if we're not counting that, I would say the opening and the ending are very equal in my opinion. Very honestly, both very forgettable. I actually forget about them even now, to be perfectly honest with you. What about you, Falcon?
No, I agree. I wasn't a huge fan of any of them, or of either of them. I guess there's only one each. They're there. They're fine. They do the job. They're kind of just like as mediocre of an anime opening as you can get. You're not going to hate listening to it. But yeah, I'm not going to look at it ever again, probably. Unless like it's just randomly on like some like compilation that I pulled up of anime openings smashed together.
Definitely that, which I honestly, if I were to listen to it like a compilation of anime openings, I'd probably hear it be like, this sounds very familiar, and then completely forget about it.
Yeah. For sure. All right. Otherwise, the rest of the music for the show was kind of about the same. It was fine. Nothing stand out. But that leads us to our question for the day.
Whoa! Our question for the day.
Yes. So this is
really distracting me.
Yeah, I can tell. Normally we have fun questions. This one was hard to kind of find one for, like some of the other shows we've been watching lately.
It's just kind of hard. I don't know if that means we're losing like interest in the question of the day, or it's just getting harder with the series we choose.
I feel like we've been doing a lot of slice of life, and I feel like those are just harder to have questions for in general.
But last week we did Demon Slayer. That was a little difficult. No, that wasn't that difficult. We
did like whatever like fighting style, yeah.
Okay.
But so for this one, we decided we would have to pick which class we realistically think we would have been put into if we were at this high school. And I'll go first, I guess. I've been making you go first a lot today. I feel like I would be put into class B at the start.
For Bird Bro?
For Bird? Oh, yes, for Bird Bro. No, not for Bird Bro, but that also works, I guess. No, I've always been fairly intelligent, but I've never been like one of the smartest kids, like, you know, I've never been in like the top 2 or 3 kids in the room. Even in like high school, I wasn't in the top 10% because I was in like the top 15%. So I've always kind of just been outside the reach of like the top marks everywhere. So I feel like realistically, I would probably end up in class B. I don't feel like I wouldn't be defective for class D. I wouldn't be just like kind of more of the average students like class C. I feel like I would kind of be in that B range. What about you, Condor?
What class would I be? Obviously, I'd be in class S.
You mean class S?
The secret class. The secret class? No, I'm kidding. I'd probably... I know none of you guys are gonna be able to see this video till like 2025 or anything.
Right.
Falcon's face was just so hilarious. If only you guys could see it.
If only.
I'd probably be in class C. Honestly, I'm not smart, but I'm not dumb, so I feel like class C is perfectly average for me. I'm not like the brightest student. It takes a while for me to understand something without like learning it. I'm more of not a visual learner, but I'm more of I have to move and be active to learn, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I hate reading tutorials. In like a video game, I hate reading tutorials. I'd rather just like go out there and learn on my own.
Right.
Because I like reading, but I also don't like reading. So it's kind of weird.
You read a lot of light novels. I feel like you don't like reading actual books.
I read a lot of fan fiction.
You read a lot of fan. That is true. You read exclusively Ruby fan fiction. And
I do.
It's
and if you guys want to talk to me about Ruby fan fiction, you just gotta join the Discord. Talk to me all about it. We can talk all.
He will talk to you literally all day. Don't do it. It's a trap. But still join the Discord. You can find the link in the episode and series description. It's pretty fun. We have a lot of good times there.
Eye movement did not.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Neither will the audience till 2027.
Yeah, not till 2027. Anyway. Yeah, so classes B and C respectively for us. We ain't no defects. I'm not gonna do that. I was gonna say somebody we know was a defect, but I will refrain. I will be nice.
Don't talk to Kaizen that way.
I was gonna say Kaizen.
Who is the defect?
I'll message you. I'll message you on Discord real quick.
So I know who it is.
Yeah, it's not Seth, but it's not hard to guess who it would be.
I know who you're talking about. I already know. Kaizen would be class A because he's just the smartest boy.
He's the smartest ever. He's gonna call us out on this whenever he's like, "Why did you all call me out again?" Be like,
he doesn't even listen to our podcast either. Kaizen, if you listen to this, just say poopy in the Discord, okay? Just poopy. Then we'll know you listen to it.
He's gonna say it in like a month, and you're gonna be like, "Why did you just say poopy?" And like, she told me to. Anyway, yeah, that's it. So now we're just on to our favorite moments. There weren't really any fights in here.
I mean, the episode 2 with I thought that was gonna be a fight when that happened.
True,
I was upset that it didn't happen though. I was kind of
yeah.
So honestly, when I watched this anime at the first time, like, oh man, they're fighting. Is there gonna be fights in this anime? And there wasn't. Mm-hmm. Which I mean, that didn't take away from anything. I still enjoyed it. I mean, I guess I really can't think of a favorite moment. I mean, I like all the moments. I just the whole anime was enjoyable to me personally. Like it was all just like even. Like it didn't rise, it didn't fall. It just other than like the beach episode, that one fell. But other than that, if we take that one out of the equation, it was just like a steady. Oh, I guess the cops are coming after me for my.
Yeah, sirens are on my end, guys. Sorry about that. In case you're driving, don't freak out. Put your hands up. Yep, they're coming. They know I'm talking to you. They want information. Try not to sell you out.
I'll tell them that this anime was just a nice current. It was nice and even. It just went steadily.
Yeah, there weren't really any standout moments. It's a nice solid ride all the way through. I do think I really did like how they handled the island exam, how they handled that at the end.
Oh yeah. Did you expect that at the end or no?
I had an inkling it would happen. I won't say it didn't completely surprise me, but I felt like there was something more going on than what we knew. I just didn't know what. So it was surprising to see what exactly happened. I'm trying not to, spoil it because that's kind of like the finale of the show or the season. But it was nice. I enjoyed seeing how it all kind of came together at the end.
What would you say? I would probably assume the island arc is your favorite, but out of all the things that happened, what was your favorite? Like, I guess arc. There's like the beginning,
the Sakura Sudo arc, and then the island arc. Yeah, probably the island arc. I did like
more fleshed out after all.
Yeah, I did like the kind of more like detective-y, lawyery vibe the arc with Sudo and Sakura had. Just because I like things like Ace Attorney a lot, so I can kind of see like, oh, they're investigating this or whatnot, and now they're kind of doing somewhat of a trial kind of deal thing. I enjoyed that aspect of it, but the rest of it kind of fell short. Because like we weren't really introduced to either of these two characters before it happened. I was like, okay, why should I care that Sudo's going to get expelled again? Like he almost got expelled the last time because he's dumb, but
D for dumb.
Yeah, but otherwise. I really enjoyed. I think too. I enjoyed how because I called out at the beginning when the teacher's like, your points can be used for anything you could want, points can get you. And there was a point right before the Sudo arc where I think Sudo was actually going to get expelled because he failed by like half a point, so they rounded down, so he technically failed the exam. And Ayanokoji goes to the teacher and said, "All right, I want to buy him a point." And she's like, "Oh, why would you think I'd do that?" And he's like, "Because you told us that we can buy anything with points." And at the start when they had said that, I was like, does that mean they can literally buy like their grades and all that? And like, yeah, if you have the points, they'll let you do it.
I think they kind of hinted at that too when they showed that scene with Class A with the student council.
Yeah. I'd forgot about that scene, but yeah, they totally did.
You know what scene I want to know? They never really answered. The scene, it was in episode 4 with Ichinose when Kiyotaka saw her phone and saw all the points she had. She had like 2 million points.
Yeah, and he was even like, how does she have so many points? I still want to know how she got that many points. I'm hoping that's something that if I read the books, I'll find out.
Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't answer it, Maybe.
Right. But yeah, he sees that she's got like 2 million points. I was like, how does she have that many points? How is that possible? Class D over here. I think they said too that Class D was the first class to literally lose all of their points in a month because they went from getting the full 100,000 to getting none, which is terrible. But yeah, otherwise there's not really anything I could really think is like a super duper standout highlight.
Super duper standout
Super
highlight.
duper standout highlight. But yeah. If you can't think of anything else, I guess we can move on to our recommendations.
Well, the thing with this anime is that it teaches many life lessons. Oh, actually, there's one thing I want to mention. The episode titles are very interesting.
Yeah, they're like quotes from philosophers and such.
Yeah, this is what the Wikipedia page of it. Going back to Wikipedia, everybody, Falcon, quickly say something.
Wikipedia, online encyclopedia. There you go. I said something.
Thanks, man. I'm so glad
You're
you
welcome.
filled that silence.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty great.
Yeah, the episode titles are taken from literature by various European philosophers.
Mm-hmm.
Some episode titles are literally called my favorite one. I'm scrolling down the list right here. I like it takes a great talent and skill to conceal one's talent and skill.
Mm-hmm.
We should not be upset that others hide the truth from us when we hide it from ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Every man has in himself the most dangerous traitor of all.
I liked that one. That was
and
a cool
geniuses title. lives only one story above madness. I liked all those titles, but all the titles are pretty interesting. What would you say some of your favorite titles would be? Falcon.
Well, I mean, I don't have the list pulled up myself, but I liked the traitor one. I think was the one that stuck out to me the most. I thought that one was just a really interesting way of looking at it.
Man is an animal that makes bargains. No other animal does this. No dog exchanges bones with another.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it even says like what person, like here on the Wikipedia, what person like did it. Well, that's actually pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so you said you like the traitor one? The every man has himself the most dangerous traitor of all.
Yeah.
That was quoted by Soren Kierkegaard. I don't know who that is. But he is apparently a Danish philosopher. Isn't that cool? He was born 1813.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Soren, for everything you've done. I'm definitely pronouncing your name wrong, but because of you, you live on through anime.
Yes, living on through anime. It
must be quite amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My hat's off to you, even though I don't wear a hat.
Yeah. Maybe you should just wear a hat. That way you can always hats off.
Headphones off to you, my friend.
Headphones off to you. Now you can't hear what I'm saying.
Yes, I can.
You don't know what I'm saying at all. No, I did mute myself and I was just talking. It was fun. Yeah, it was. You should probably put on those headphones. Yeah.
I can hear you.
I know. I've unmuted myself now.
I know.
Cool. So put on your headphones.
I can hear you. It's fine.
He can't hear me. He's being
I can totally hear you.
No.
Yeah?
No.
Well, why don't you give the closing thoughts, Falcon?
Yeah, so all right. I'm doing my recommendation for Classroom of the Elite. Should this be something you watch as a first anime? Probably not. I want to recommend it for that. If you think it sounds interesting, give it a shot. Otherwise, probably just skip it. If you're, and even then it sounds like the books are a lot better. I think it's pretty much fine. Nothing better than fine. So I'm probably going to just give it a 5. It's pretty much the most basic anime I feel like you could make of an anime.
You think it's the most basic anime, yet you will say not to recommend it for a first timer? What?
Yeah, I think if you watch this as your first anime, you're not going to be like hooked onto anime. If I'm being quite honest, like if I watch this for my first anime, I'd be like, okay, I don't get what the big deal is. But I feel like if you're into anime and you just want to watch an anime and don't care about it, it's fine. It'll do the job. So I'm just gonna give it a 5. What about you?
Wow,
Taylor?
that's a very low rating. You didn't even go into detail, but okay. I would agree though. I would definitely not recommend this for a first time anime, with one exception. If you like mystery, I would definitely recommend this as a first anime. Because there's a lot of mysterious elements to this thing. Lots of plot twists, lots of things you might not expect. There's some things that even got the Falcon here, right? That never happens. You usually call everything. No, don't lie to the audience.
I don't call everything.
You're in class B. Be quiet. Anyway, Basically, yeah, I wouldn't recommend it as a first anime. This anime though was really enjoyable. I enjoyed the characters. I really think they're gonna grow into be better characters later on in the series. But for now, we got a nice peek at what they're like. Um, it was really nice to see them all interact with each other, especially the teacher. As you said, the teacher was very interesting. If you're definitely to watch this anime, you're definitely going to find it a character that you probably will like and will become your favorite character. Maybe not even any of the characters we mentioned. It might be a different character. We just talked about the characters that felt like we shine the most, as we always do. Um, other than that, I'd probably give this anime. I'm gonna go one step above you. I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Probably because read the light novels. There's even a manga apparently for this series. But honestly, read the light novels if you're gonna like get into this anime. To be perfectly honest, that's what I would do. That's what you should do.
It kind of ends on a cliffhanger, which is fine. But the fact that it's been like what 5 or 6 years now, and we still don't have a second season.
It's only been 4 because it came out in 2017.
Right, yeah. I got it confused, mixed up with 2016 for some dumb reason.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No one will hear this until 2029 anyway on YouTube.
I mean, it's very unlikely we're getting a second season at this point. So, if you are more interested in it, I would probably agree. Just like read the books. Like otherwise, the anime is you'll enjoy what you watch most likely. But like I said, it doesn't do anything that I feel like just makes it stand out. And a lot of the characters, at least in the anime version, besides really Ayanokoji, are kind of like we said, Horikita is just kind of like basic tsundere.
And maybe if you like the basic tsundere, you like Horikita.
Right. I feel like there's not enough to make it stand out in a great way to make it like worth your attention. That's all. Like it's kind of just like an average anime. 5 is right in the middle. That's kind of the score for average, So
personally, I'm excited to see more about this series because I felt like the show has a lot of potential in my opinion. Like I'm excited. I honestly, if I had access to the light novels, I'd probably read them right this instant. Or like if they had season 2, I'd probably try to watch it weekly. But I probably fail at that. I can only do like one anime weekly. It's hard to stick with some anime sometimes, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I'm interested in reading the books, but I'm not in like a huge rush to read them either. But I definitely probably want to check them out. 1, to see how much different they actually are. And 2, just to kind of see what happens after the part we're at, because it kind of started ramping up some of the more interesting plot points.
Yeah,
ended, and I feel like that's kind of one of the reasons why I feel like it's more mediocre. Like I feel like we probably could have maybe skipped like the arc with Sudo and Sakura for a bit and introduced them in some other way. But also, I've not read the books to know if that's more important than it seemed to be, because it didn't really seem to be that important at the start.
I feel like you're missing the message.
Maybe.
I think because I feel like the Sakura and Sudo thing was very important. Well, I mean, do you mean like with the fight, or do you mean like with his expulsion with the test? Because the test thing is very important. It's to show that basically you can't fuck up here. You'll fail.
The test thing is important. I'm talking more like the fight thing, like the fight aspect.
I can kind of see how that was useless, but in a way, it's also to introduce more characters, to get us to know them, and to see more of like how the school is. Like you saw like during the court thing with the other teacher as well was there, who was being all skeevy because he knew they were in the wrong. Because their boss, the head of Class C, what was his name, Ryuhen or whatever the heck his name is. By the way, fun fact, he has the same birthday as the main character. I saw that on the Wikia. But basically, it was just interesting to see like all of them to get to know the school better. So I feel like that was a good like way to give more essence to the series.
Maybe,
but maybe you just interpreted. Maybe I'm interpreted wrong. Maybe you're interpreted wrong.
Who knows? Either way, it's one of those. If you want to watch it, give it a shot. If it doesn't seem interesting, just skip it.
I will definitely say if season 2 comes out, I definitely watch it. But most likely, I'm going to try to get the light novels.
If season 2 came out, I would watch it, but it wouldn't be like my top priority show. It would be the one like if I have time to watch another show, I'll watch it. If not, I'll get to it when I get to it. But anyway, this has been our episode on Classroom of the Elite. As always, you can find us on Twitter at BirdBroPod to tell us what you thought of the episode. We are on there. Just hit us up. No big deal. We also have the Discord, which we mentioned earlier. And if you all didn't see, for some reason, Condor felt the need to show his peeps on camera.
But you won't see that till 2031.
You won't see it till 2031. And those peeps will be expired by that point. But maybe he will have eaten them by then. Who knows?
They expired 2023, actually.
Oof, ouch. He's being expiring over here. Anyway, you can also find me on Twitch at BirdBroPod. And don't forget to share the podcast with your friends. We're just about to hit the 500 download mark, which will be very fun and exciting. And we should be back next week with another episode, but we're going to leave that a surprise this time. We're not going to tell you just what we're watching quite yet, mainly because the first choice we found out is only like 4 episodes.
5 episodes.
And we're having to rethink our plans a little bit. But next week we will be watching an anime. You'll just find out what it is later.
Yeah, you will when it uploads.
Yeah, when it uploads. Yeah. Condor, do you have anything to say to the nice people before we head out?
Make sure to join Class D, everybody, so you can be cool like me.
Yeah,
Falcon.
be cool like Condor. Don't be like me. I'm kind of lame. I'm a stick in the mud.
He doesn't even have peeps.
I don't even have peeps. But real talk, who actually likes peeps? You. That's it, Condor. Just you. I don't know if anybody else
who follows on Twitch, so shut your mouth. Okay.
All right. Anyway, this has been our podcast. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you back next week.